All right, hello everyone. Bo Williams here in the WATE 6 on Your Side newsroom. As we do every Friday, I want to talk traffic with you, get you updated on what's happening out on the roadways. Of course, some big changes that we saw with this pop-up storm, really, that came up and dumped a lot of water in the Cott County area, shutting I-40 down once again. We're going to be hearing from TDOT's chief engineer on the urgency to get the interstate back open. Of course, it hadn't been open that long since Helene closed it down. They were able to get one lane open in both directions. Now they're working again to get everything back up and open. Of course, the summer travel season is now here. We're closing in on the 4th of July weekend, which, of course, is another big travel holiday. So we'll be hearing from them, talking a little bit about what's going to be going on in trying to get everything back up and running. We'll take a look at some of the detours. But to start things off, I want to get you updated on what's happening out there on the interstate right now. So we're going to bring in the TDOT map. Let me get myself back in frame here. Hang on a second. I have jumped out of frame. There we go. Let's take a look here for a moment. We're going to zoom in. I wanted to bring this in for a second. We had a vehicle fire. This was on I-40 westbound. So take a look. It looks like they've got it out, but you still have several lanes that are closed down at this moment. Hey, I'm going to shift this over a little bit so I can get back in frame. There we go. TDOT help truck is there. Looks like KFD's got a couple of engines out on the interstate right now. THP also there. Here's the vehicle right here where my cursor is. That was on fire just a few moments ago. They've got the fire out. Looks like they've stopped traffic right now. Looks like they're pulling out some of the KFD fire trucks. So that's always a good scene, or at least good news for you there, that maybe the fire, they feel confident now that this vehicle is not going to flare back up again. The bad side of this is obviously you can imagine what the backup is looking like right now. So we'll check back on this as they take this other fire engine here, letting it do its three-point turn, and it will head out of here and head back to the station, and then they'll get this traffic flowing once again. But let's pull this back for just a second, take a look at the delays. So we'll back this up a couple of cameras here. This is a live look for you right now. TDOT Smart WATE camera back just west of Rutledge Pike, so not far from Zoo Knoxville. But again, this is westbound I-40 there at the top of the screen going from right to left, and you can see the delays there right now. Let's bring in another camera as we pop out of this one for a moment. This is the one actually at Rutledge Pike, and there's that westbound traffic. This time it's moving away from us, so it's that right side. Now keep in mind, opposite side of the interstate is also slowing on this Friday afternoon, so that's not helping matters much, but right now westbound definitely slower than the eastbound traffic. Let's see if we can find out what's going on eastbound-wise here, why we got a problem. And there you go. We've got an issue. It looks like it looks like two vehicles inside shoulder right now, 40 eastbound. This is out near Asheville Highway, and that is why we're seeing traffic starting to slow in the eastbound lanes trying to get out of town. THP on scene there. We've got the two vehicles up against this inside retaining wall. If you look closely as the traffic goes by, we do have some people out here walking behind these vehicles as well. I'm sure the TDOT help truck individual that works that is also out there. So another spot that we're watching for you at this moment. Let's take a look at the backup that's associated with this. That's eastbound traffic, all right, heading out of town right now, definitely starting to slow. This is probably also impacting 640. Yeah, 640 eastbound here at the top of the screen, right underneath here where it says TDOT Smart Way. You can see the delays there, and that only means that, so you've got 40 east, 640 east, slowing because of what's happened there on that inside shoulder right there at Asheville Highway on I-40. And then even though the fire is out, we're seeing some significant backups on 40 westbound. This is right before you get to Cherry. Good news is now all lanes are back open. We saw the KFD trucks making those turns, getting out of there. THP still on scene. The vehicle is still there, far enough off on the shoulder of the roadway. The officer's got his lights on, so if you can, you're going to have to merge to the left, try to free up that right-hand lane, give them some extra time. Eventually have to get a tow truck in there and get the vehicle out. But yeah, you can still see now heavy traffic for you. This is east of Cherry, but traffic at least is starting to move. And again, that is westbound on 40. So some good news. Things should start to thin out. It's going to take a little bit of time to get everybody back up to speed, get traffic moving once again. We'll continue to rifle through some of these. Yeah, a little further back west of Rutledge Pike, still seeing that slow traffic. Maybe going to be stop and go in a few spots. We'll back it up to Rutledge Pike here, and let's see if we can get this with a click on it. There you go. And again, this is the eastbound. This is westbound. So again, you know, traffic there definitely starting to slow for you this afternoon. So both directions, I-40 east and west, are going to see some issues on the east end of town. The good news, looks like the fire's out for the westbound traffic, and it looks like they're still working that scene eastbound. So it may take some time. They're going to have to possibly get a truck or at least stop traffic so they can get everything to the outside shoulder. And we've got more vehicles now that have shown up here. We've gone from 2 to 4. look like that are now part of this. The TDOT help truck is there as well. So, things are improving westbound I-40 on the east end. Things now are going to start getting back eastbound 40 heading out of town, so on the east end. So we'll continue to monitor that for you, but I want to touch on that for you quick. Usually we'll hit the traffic cameras and take you around the area. That's kind of one of the last things we do, but because we had those accidents and that car fire, I wanted to get you up to date on what's happening right now as far as traffic in those spots. All right. Other big topic, and we'll come back and check on those in a minute. We'll go all over the area, get you updated on what's going on in traffic at this moment. But, of course, we do want to touch on what's been going on in the mountains. And let's see if I can bring up, that's Maryville. Let's see, where did my information go? There it is. All right, flooding the rock slide that closes the mudslide, rock slide, whatever you want to call it. That's closing a section of I-40 near the Tennessee-North Carolina line. Obviously causing a lot of issues, reminiscent of what we saw back in the fall with Helene, right? We had one lane open now in both directions, but now that has come to a standstill. This is a camera at Hartford, and again, it kind of reinforces the fact that I-40 is closed because they're not allowing any traffic. You're going to be diverted off of the interstate. You can still get to Hartford. You can still, my understanding is, you can still get to the whitewater rafting, which just recently reopened and things like that. But if you're trying to get into North Carolina, that's going to be a whole nother kettle of fish for you. As a matter of fact, let's see here. We're going to bring up, we got a couple maps we want to show you. First of all, this is the detour. Just a reminder, we saw this during Helene, but this is how TDOT right now is urging everyone to get around what's going on. And if you take a look right here, this is the spot where we have the closure right here along the state line. We're talking about around mile marker 450, 451. And this is both directions. Again, this is one lane, both directions. So the mud, the debris that washed down on the mountainside there basically covered up both lanes, both directions. So interstate's closed here near the state line. So how do you get around it? Maybe you're heading to the beach this weekend, heading out either later today, tomorrow morning, heading to the Carolina coast. All right, two options. And honestly, the first one's really not going to add a whole lot of extra time. And if you think about it, you had one lane going in both directions. You get stuck behind some truck traffic, even though the wide loads have to go north, but still you're going to have some semi-traffic through there. It was going to still be slow heading to the mountains, a little slower than it normally is. So right now they're suggesting taking I-81 out of Knoxville, take it up here to the Tri-Cities. That's where you're going to hop on I-26. And that will slide you into the north side of Asheville. From there, you can pick up 40 and continue on east, or you can continue on I-26, which will take you down Spartanburg, Columbia, all the way into Charleston, if that's where you're headed. So they have those options for you. But again, your best bet's going to be taking I-81 up to 26 and then sliding down that way, coming into Asheville. Just a heads up if you've never come in on the north side of Asheville. Asheville, once you get into Asheville, can be a bit confusing, okay? So just pay attention to the road signs. That's my best advice for you. Don't know who laid it out, but it can be a little confusing. And when you're heading back, pay attention as well. You're going to be switching a lot of lanes. It's kind of like driving through Nashville. That's the best way to put it. Sometimes you're switching lanes, trying to get from one side of the interstate to the other. So just pay attention, but you'll be fine. The other option for you, and again, this all really depends on where you're going, but you can take 81 all the way up to Virginia, and that's where it intersects with I-77. Take I-77, that's going to bring you in right around Statesville. This is the north end of Charlotte. Is where you'll dump in. And from there, then you can either head east or you can head south on 77. That'll take you down to Columbia as well. And then you can hop on 20 heading toward Myrtle Beach. You can continue on toward, you head over to 26 heading over toward Charleston. So several different areas. This will take a little bit longer if you go up to 77. And this is also where the wide load traffic is being diverted to, okay? That really hasn't changed. That's been in play since Helene. But again, keep in mind, so you might have a few more wide loads with you. There are some pretty steep grades through here, and that could slow you a little bit. But everybody I've talked to said it's a pretty easy drive. I have not driven that. I have driven 26, and that's a pretty easy drive as well. Not nearly as many twists and turns as you will see on I-40. But again, coming up through 26, you will be okay, but you'll just be coming on the north end of Asheville. So how long is this going to take? How long is it going to take to get everybody back driving on I-40? We have heard at least 2 weeks, all right? So we're running right up against that July 4th weekend. But again, at least 2 weeks. But TDOT knows that this is urgent for several reasons to get I-40 back open. Matter of fact, we heard from the chief engineer with TDOT who's kind of overseeing things. So let's take a listen to hear what he had to say.
Our focus is going to be on getting the interstate, getting connectivity, getting the interstate open as quickly as we can. We know this area depends on this route from a commerce standpoint as well as emergency services. So our focus is always getting our routes reconnected as soon as possible.
All right, so there you go. You're talking commerce plus. It's summertime, right? A lot of people head to the beach. People at the beach trying to head to the mountains. We're just passing each other in opposite directions. So again, it's real key to get I-40 back open. It's still going to be slow going once they do get it back open, but until then, again, your best bets, as we just showed you a few moments ago, there's those detours again. You're going to use I-81 up to 26 or 81 all the way to 77. I will say a few people like to use 25, Highway 25 from Newport. That will take you over into the Carolinas. Again, though, it's just one lane. It's state highway. It's kind of a roll of the dice. You will, you could get stuck behind some slow traffic. That is for sure. You're going to go through some areas that are still recovering from Helene, but it is a pretty drive, and you won't lose too much time. But again, just know it may not be smooth sailing. And then also people talk about going through the national park, and again, it's off limits to truck traffic. And obviously, this time of year, the national park can get pretty crowded. Newfound Gap Road. But again, that is another possible option for you if you're just traveling in a family vehicle. So keep all of that in mind there. All right, so other areas we're talking about, another big project coming up, and we're going to pull this one up for you here. This is we've been talking about this as well. This is roadwork expected to close Maryville intersection for a month or more. You can find this information on WATE.com. We'll just kind of read it off here. Roadwork begins for the City of Maryville's Carpenter's Grade Road Improvement Project. Blount County Sheriff's Office warning drivers that an intersection closure is expected to impact drivers for 4 to 6 weeks. The closure will impact the intersection of Cochran Road and Ralston Road. That will begin Monday, June 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. Sheriff's Office says drivers should expect delays and detour signs will be in place. And this is going to go for a while, so just make note of this, okay? So this is all starting up on Monday. You can get all the information, though, right here on WATE.com. We do have a map for you as well to kind of show exactly the areas that we're talking about that will be impacted. Get me out of there. How am I popping up here on the site here? But anyhow, there we go. But there you can take a look at what's going on, and that'll be fantastic to kind of help you get around all of that. But again, that's going to be in play for a while in the Maryville area. But again, you can read all about this on WATE.com. Definitely take a moment and check that out. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at some projects. You know, TDOT sends us this list every week. We've got some new ones. We've got some others that we want to remind you about. That'll be coming up next week. We'll talk about that when we come back right after the break. All right, we're back, everyone. Bo Williams with you here in the WATE 6 Near Side Newsroom, talking traffic with you this afternoon. We do have some projects coming up that we do want to get you up to date on, some other ones that are still ongoing that you were hoping maybe would be gone by the end of the week, but are still going this summer. So let's take a look right now. We're going to bring in the TDOT SmartWay maps here for just a second and kind of talk about what's going on. As you can see, there are a number of projects. You can see all the cones set up here. A lot of projects going on all around the area. But there's a few, though, that we do want to point out. And the first one we're going to take a look at, and this is actually a new one. This is going to be in Knox County. This one is starting up actually on Sunday, the 22nd, I-40 east and west between mile markers 398 and 402. So right around Straw Plains, heading out, we'll say, let's see, I think 402, is midway. So this stretch here, just east of town on I-40, kind of extreme east end of Knox County. They're saying right now, be on the lookout for rolling roadblocks between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And again, this is going to be on Sunday, the 22nd. Crews doing some utility work in the area. They got to perform some overhead line work, and that's why they're going to have to do the rolling roadblocks. So you're going to see some delays coming up Sunday morning. The weather should be fine, so that's not going to delay anything. The crews should be able to get out there and get done what they need to. But again, that will be from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., so watch for slow or even stop traffic. If you use this section, maybe on Sunday mornings, you're trying to get to church, you're trying to get somewhere, maybe you're heading out early for vacation. Just know rolling roadblocks are going to be in play. So if you run into it, hopefully they'll be short in nature. They won't slow you down too much. But if you're running tight on time, again, this is something you want to think about between 6 and 10 a.m. No given time exactly when they'll do them in those hours. But again, just watch out for some rolling roadblocks between Strawberry Plains and Midway, and that's east and westbound on 40 for some utility work coming up on Sunday. All right, we're going to go to Blount County, another project that we've been talking about for some time, still ongoing. It's that section of Pellissippi Parkway, 162 between Alcoa Highway and Knoxville Highway. And really, it's between Cusick and Knoxville Highway if you want to even narrow this down even more. But what's going to be happening here, crews are going to continue to be working. They're reducing down from 2 lanes to 1 through the project between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. each day as needed. They've got some blasting operations they're still thinking they're going to have to be taken care of. But again, this will be next week as well on that section of Pellissippi Parkway in Blount County between Cusick Road and State Route 33, which is Old Knoxville Highway right here. So again, through here you could see some delays. It's a short stretch of road, but obviously if you're trying to get up to the airport, if you're trying to connect with I-140 or even Alcoa Highway and you're coming up here from Blount County, that could cause you some delays at times. So you will have that lane reduction once again coming up this week. All right, another area that we're watching for you right now, and this is going to be in Campbell County, and let's see here. Yeah, up to the northern section of the county, almost to the state line, really. This is I-75 north and southbound between mile markers 156 and 161. So heading up toward the Jellicoe area, we even got it marked here with the barrel. And when they do that, you can see the outline here. So it's a good section here as you're making it up toward the Jellicoe area, but both directions in Campbell County, right around mile marker 156. Just be careful. Construction work will result in a lane shift. This will happen every day. We have seen delays up there. This is expected to wrap up. Well, it says there, was at June, at the end of the month, so June 30th. So hopefully we're on the tail end of this, and we only have about a week, maybe a week and a half to go until this project is done. I know a lot of you living up in the northern section up there, especially up in Campbell County, if you're living up around Jellicoe, like to have this one wrapped up for you. Maybe you're heading up toward Kentucky or Ohio for vacation, or Michigan. You'd like to be able to get through here without too many slowdowns. So hopefully in about a week or a week and a half, you won't have to worry about it. But again, you've got the projects that are going on there that'll be coming up. Let's go back to the main map here for just a second, and we'll kind of widen this out for you. Matter of fact, yeah, and you can see again all the projects that are going on, and these are ongoing. Let's click on this one here. We got the widening project, State Route 71, both directions. This is in Knox County between Simpson Road and Hendron Chapel Road. It's going to cause temporary lane closures, and that's going to be 24 hours a day, all right? That work should be wrapped up, well, this says May 12th, but they've still got the alerts out there, so obviously they have overshot that one. Current activity right now, they're saying they're grading, drainage, retaining walls, paving on 441, again, between Simpson Road and Hendron Chapel. So that work continues. Shift over a little bit. Let's zoom in here. Obviously, you know all about this one. This is part of the Alcoa Highway widening project. That won't be done until about 2027, the whole project. But right here, this is Alcoa Highway, both directions between the Blount-Knox County line and Maloney Road. You got that widening project, those temporary lane closures 24 hours a day. We've had rolling roadblocks through there. I got stuck in one of those the other day, but hey, be patient. Find yourself a good podcast, some music to listen to, and you'll be all right and you'll get through it. But crews continue to work there, but they are making a lot of progress on those. And I think you're going to start to see that here in the coming weeks, at least for this section of the project, okay? Keep in mind there's several steps, several areas of this project along Alcoa Highway that they still need to address, and that's still going to take some time. Again, you're talking until about 2027. Bring the barrel in here along I-140, where I-140 both directions. This is right there near North Shore. You're going to have some lane closures on weekdays. Usually these are later in the evening, late afternoon into the evening hours. Some ITS work that's being done through there, and we have seen that, the backups, especially eastbound on I-140 from time to time. On this Friday, maybe not so much, but usually these are Monday through Thursday projects that we have to watch out for. Shift over one more here we want to zoom in on for you right now. This one is along I-40. Another project, this is some resurfacing, I-40 eastbound in Roane County, mile marker 356. Let's see, the right lane of 2 will be blocked. Right shoulder will be blocked as well. Again, this work was supposed to wrap up, let's see, expected to start, May 28th. No time on when it's supposed to actually finish. Current activity, though, nightly lane closures, Sunday through Thursday nights, I-40 eastbound and westbound, right there near 356 to 363. And this is going to run, well, there you go. It's going to run through the summer of 2025. So watch for that resurfacing project in Roane County there along I-40. That's going to be going on for a while. All right, so that's kind of how things are playing out. This is a great tool, the TDOT SmartWay maps. You can go in there and click on them, kind of get you up to date, as you said there. On the bottom part, when you click on it, actually it will tell you where things stand right now and exactly what they are working on. All right, when we come back, we're going to go back, revisit some of those spots that we talked about at the beginning when we first came on. We had the car fire that was out. We had the issue on the inside shoulder of I-40 eastbound near Asheville Highway. We'll check on those and some other areas when we come back right after this. All right, welcome back. Bo Williams here in the WATE 6 Near Side newsroom. Let's go back and get you up to date on what's going on out on the roadways. We had a lot happening when we first came on with you today. And we do want to check on some of the spots in case you're getting ready to head out. Want to make sure to wherever you're going, you get there on time. So let's zoom back in. Looks like they've dropped some of the alerts through here, and that's always a good sign. But we had that. We had the issue for you first of all near Asheville Highway. So let's bring up that camera. Looking good. If you were with us earlier, we had the inside shoulder. We had several vehicles, up to 4 vehicles. You had THP. We had TDOT there as well. This was 40 eastbound near Asheville Highway. Looks like that has been cleared, but let's see how the backup is. We had quite the backup. It was impacting 40 eastbound as well as 640 eastbound. Still a little slow. This is the camera a little bit, but this is really between Asheville Highway and the 640 interchange, and that is eastbound traffic for you right there. So it's still a little bit on the slow side. Let's back this up a little bit more and see if we can get another look here. Yeah, you can see this is traffic on 40 East, so just past Rutledge Pike. You're passing that off-ramp on to 640. You're heading toward Asheville Highway, still seeing those delays. Here's the good news. Again, all lanes are now clear following that earlier incident, so you really shouldn't have to worry about anything. It's just going to take some time to get everybody back up to speed. I do want to check on 640 eastbound because it was also impacted, still is. This is the camera here as you're crossing over Rutledge Pike, and that's 640 East trying to merge now with 40 East. And that'll just take some time, and again, that'll just add to, well, really the time to get everybody back up to speed because now you've got everybody moving at a snail's pace, trying to merge, and that's just going to continue to cause some issues. But it should clear out here at some point. Let's back this up a little bit more. See, are we seeing issues? Well, Millertown, maybe a little heavier than usual, but it's moving. But if you look right here at the top of the screen, right up there, it looks like that is where things are starting to back up and starting to slow down. So 640 eastbound is going to be slow, especially as you approach Rutledge Pike. I-40 East will be slow, especially as you approach Rutledge Pike. But once you get to Asheville Highway, you're going to be fine. It's going to just open wide up for you, okay? So you shouldn't have any issues there. All right, let's take a look. We had that car fire earlier. I can't remember where it was now. It looks like everything has cleared out. Here it was. It was right in this area. Let's pull up the cameras here. It was really it was near Cherry. That's eastbound, by the way, 40. Westbound looking a whole lot better. Looks like they've got the car fire. The car moved. Let's take a look back here at Cherry. Well, there's the vehicle. I think this is the vehicle right here that it was on fire earlier, but THP has left, TDOT has left. Had 2 KFD engines out there. They have both departed. So right now it's just the vehicle that needs to come and be picked up. But otherwise, traffic right now getting by fine. We're not seeing those massive delays for you. But again, we're just seeing those eastbound delays. So that is really starting to back up. Again, the scene has been cleared eastbound 40, but still seeing those delays. But westbound traffic looks good despite that car fire earlier. Things there are moving along much better. Let's take a look at some other spots for you before we let you go in case you are getting ready to head out. This is a live look for you. TDOT Smart Weight cameras. This is the Hollywood camera. This is right there at I-40 and the 640 interchange on the west end. Traffic right now, for the most part, moving along okay. It's not stop and go, heavier in some areas than in others, but at least it is moving. Let's bring in the 640 west camera here. This is at Middlebrook. This is westbound 640 on the far left side of the screen. That is starting to slow a little bit, but not horrible. Eastbound right now looking good. On the west end, as we mentioned, on the east end, it's a different story. Eastbound traffic right now, very, very slow. Let's bring in the camera here at Western Avenue, where traffic passing underneath the Western Avenue overpass on 640. Everything there looking okay. So we're not seeing any big problems for you there, even though the maps are showing that we could have some slight slowdowns. Let's go a little bit further out west for a moment. This is always a spot where we do see some issues, and we do have a camper on the shoulder of the roadway. This is 40 westbound. This is just past Pellissippi, so you're not quite the level road. But this is a mile marker 375.4, but you get the camper sitting there. Not causing too many problems, but this is a spot, too, where you got people trying to merge on from Pellissippi, trying to go 40 west, and you've got people trying to exit 40 west, trying to get on at Level Road. So that could be an issue, but right now it doesn't appear that the camper's causing too many problems there on the shoulder of the roadway, but we'll keep an eye on that. But just know it's there if you are getting ready to head out the door here in the next few moments. Let's back the cameras up here and see if there is a delay. Oh, my goodness, take a look. Okay, so this is east of Pellissippi. So this is the area, so you go from Cedar Bluff, Pellissippi, Level Road. From Cedar Bluff to Pellissippi, this is what you have waiting for you, right? heavy traffic. And this is one of the spots. It's one of the worst spots in the country in the top 100 as far as just congestion and slowdowns. And sometimes you can't figure out why. But there it is. Okay, so this is I-40 westbound right there at I-140, and it is starting to come to a stop. All right, so then we're going to go right here at that interchange, still just moving at a snail's pace. Here's traffic trying to merge on, and they're even seeing some serious backups. This is coming from Pellissippi Parkway, I-140 area onto 40 westbound. And then we get just past that, and you got the camper sitting there, but now traffic here is also starting to slow. You kind of see how we're going here. That whole area really starting to back up, even at Level Road, 40 westbound, incredibly slow right now. Eastbound traffic, smooth sailing. They're laughing. They're looking, thinking, thank goodness I'm not on that side of the interstate. But 40 westbound still very slow. Once you get past Level Road, though, I think things are going to open up for you. Yeah, look at this, fine. And there's no accidents. It's just that section between Cedar Bluff and Level. And you throw Pellissippi in the middle there on 40 westbound. And that's why we've got some pretty significant backup. So just something to keep in mind. Nothing out of the ordinary. Obviously, you can always take maybe Kingston Pike, but keep in mind you'll have some delays near Level Road. Then you'll have to pass Farragut High School, that area. And these areas do seem to have a little bit of a log jam, if you will. One other spot here, let's just check on this real quick before we go. Just heavy traffic, 40 eastbound, Loudoun County, as you're merging there. Let's bring in this camera. This is right before you get to Watt Road. Doesn't seem too bad, though. Traffic there looking okay. Nothing you can't handle, that is for sure. All right, so that's how things are shaping up out on the roadways. Be careful when you are heading out and traveling. Don't forget what we've been telling you about I-40 and the detours. Think about I-81 up to 26. That's going to be your best bet. You can also take 81 all the way up to 77. It really depends on where you're trying to get to, whether it's the Virginia coast or the Carolina coast. But again, two things to think about. And we'll keep you up to date here as well on when we get a better, clear timeline on when they hope to have 40 back open. They're saying at least, that's underlined, 2 weeks. Could be a little bit more. Could be a little bit less. But at least 2 weeks, they're saying. So that's how things are shaping up. As always, reach out to us if you have a question. Otherwise, we will do this all again next week. All right, be safe out on the roadways, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.